In this video, we're going to go over the Zelus Wet Bulb Globe Temperature app and all its features and how to use them. After you've downloaded the app and opened it, this should be the screen. First thing we need to do is sign up. So we click the sign up button. We'll go ahead and enter an email. It's really important to use an email that you'll always have access to. This email address cannot be changed at a later date. This is your unique user ID. So make sure to use an email address that you'll always have access to. Next, we'll go ahead and enter our password and confirm it. And then we hit register. Next, we'll enter our name. First name followed by last. The next field is already filled out for you. This is the email address where all records will be sent to. This can be changed at a later time. So your user ID email and this email can be different, and this one can be changed at a later date. The last information that you need to enter is the organizational recommendations that you'll want to be using. You'll notice they're listed in alphabetical order by state and then the organization in that state. If any of the organizational recommendations do not apply to you, you can go down to these USA Wet Bulb Globe Temperature recommendations. These come from the paper Regional Health Safety Thresholds for Athletics in the Contiguous United States. It was an applied geography. To figure out which one of these you should use, I'll put a link down below. But for today, let's go up and use North Carolina's. And then hit create account. That is all the information that you'll need to input. So let's start using the app. First off, if you have an organizational code to unlock the pro version of the app, click the settings, go to code, and then enter the code. I'm going to go ahead and input the code video, VIDEO. And if you use that code, it'll give you 30 days free trial of the pro version. Notice that there's no need to input any credit card information or anything else. That's all you need is just to input the code. Go ahead and click OK. But now we can use all the functions of the pro version of the Zelus WBGT app.
Now that you have successfully downloaded the Zelus WBGT app and you have unlocked the pro version by using your organizational code, let's go over some of the different features the pro version has. The first feature we'll go over is the location box. The first thing that you'll notice in this box is the location. Underneath the location is other weather data for that location. If you want more weather data, click the View All button. A box will come up and you can get detailed weather data, including dew point and relative humidity and cloud cover for that location. Also in this box, you'll see the hourglass symbol. You'll use this button a lot. Let's go ahead and click it right now. You'll see on my screen, these are locations that I have already saved. We'll go over on how to save locations in a little bit, but on each location is a nickname and the current weather, and this is the current wet bulb globe temperature at that location. So you can have several different locations saved with their nicknames, and you can see at a glance what their wet bulb globe temperature is. Let's go ahead and create a new saved location. There's a couple different ways you can go about this. You can go ahead and just type in the address if you'd like, but I find it easier to just click the map button. And then you can pinch in and out and scroll and zoom to wherever you would like to go. What you'll want to do is, if this is a location that you're going to be using a lot, you hit Save Location, and we'll name it. And what I recommend is when you're naming the location is to also put the name of the sport that will be played at that location. That'll become important here in a little bit. We'll go ahead and hit Save. We'll hit Access Location. This will take us back to the home screen. You'll notice that after you access the location, the first time you're on the home screen, it gives you the street address of the location that you just saved. This is to make sure that it's the correct location. But once we go back to the spyglass, you'll notice there's Plano football. You'll notice, though, that on this screen, now that it says the nickname Plano football that you saved it as. When we click on it, it goes back to the home screen and it has the nickname. It no longer has the street address. So now you know the Plano football, wet bulb globe temperature, and other weather data if needed. The 3 concentric circles, if you push that, will send you back to the phone's GPS signal. Now remember, this is the GPS locations that your phone thinks you're at. If for some reason the GPS locations is off, this might give you an incorrect reading. So that's the reason we recommend to always use the saved locations when you're actually saving results. The next feature we're going to talk about is the Save Results feature. You know that the wet bulb globe temperature is well within range of practice, but you want to document it, so you hit the Save Results button. This takes you to this screen. Let's go over all the features on this page. At the top, you'll notice that it has the organization that you've chosen for your organizational recommendations. You can change this if you like. The reason we have that is because here's your organizational recommendations below. Next, you'll notice in the middle is the wet bulb globe temperature for the location you've chosen. Now you can use your wet bulb globe temperature along with your organizational recommendations to determine which activity zone that your practice should fall into and what modifications need to be done. If you notice, each activity zone is numbered 0, 1, 2, and so forth. It's fairly cold here, so we're in activity zone 0. So we don't have to do any activity modifications. So we're in activity zone number 0, and you can choose that. Now, when you hit the Save Results button, all weather data, along with date and time, will be electronically saved along with your electronic signature. After you've saved results, you go back to your home page. Let's go back to the Save Results page one more time. I want to show you another thing that you can do. If there's an activity modification that you want to make that's not listed in the organizational recommendations for your organization, you can click Other, and then you can type below, and then you can hit Save Results, and your typed in data will be saved. Again, we hit OK, and it'll take us back to the home page. Let's go ahead and save one more result, but this time, let's save a nickname location. Let's go ahead and click Plano Football. That's our location. We're going to hit Save Results. 56.1, we're still activity zone 0. And hit Save Results and hit OK. Again, we'll go back to home screen. Now let's go look at all of our saved results. To do that, you go down to the piece of paper with the folded corner at the bottom and click that. After you click that button, it'll take you to this screen. The first thing you should notice is if you save a nickname location, it will show the nickname location. If you just use the phone's GPS location, it'll just use the Google Maps name of the location where you saved the data. The reason that I recommended that you use the sports name and the nickname of the location is so that when you go back to your saved locations, you'll know if you saved that measurement for football, baseball, track, golf, band, or whatever it is. It makes just sorting this page a lot easier in the future. If you want to get more detailed look of exactly what you saved at that particular time, just click on the box and you can see all the results. And it doesn't just include the wet bulb globe temperature and the location. It includes all the weather data that we have. Click the back arrow. This piece of data that was saved right here, we saved a written note with it. Just go to the notepad, and then there's the note that we typed in. This will always permanently be saved with the time and date stamp and your electronic signature. If you ever need your documentation in a PDF form, this is the page that you'll do that. Just click which weather data that you want. And again, this is where if you have football or baseball, it'll make it easier on which ones to choose. You hit send results. You pick which organization that you want your saved data's form to be filled out in. In about 3 to 5 minutes, you'll get an email with all your saved data in a PDF form. You can print that PDF form out, or you can forward it on. Let's go back home. Now let's discuss the other features on this page. At the top right with the sun and the cloud, this is going to give you the forecasted wet bulb globe temperature. There are two different forecasts here. There's an hourly for the next 24 hours, and you can scroll left, right to see those. And you can see the next 7 days at noon. You can either hit the home button or the back button. Now this is a drop-down menu that just has the organization that you've chosen for your organizational recommendations. If for some reason you want to change it quickly, you can change that here. This would be most common in Missouri when you want to toggle between high school and middle school. As you notice, our recommendations have changed down below. Every time we change this, our speedometer changes. And if we don't want to know exactly what activity modifications that our organization recommends for each one of these temperatures, we can click the I button. Here, it gives us the range of the wet bulb globe temperature, the activity zone number, and then the recommendations your organization recommends for that wet bulb globe temperature. This is just a refresh to see if there's any new temperatures. The Zelus wet bulb globe temperature app will refresh its weather data approximately every 15 minutes. Now let's go down to this bell. The bell is the alarm or alert notification. If during practice you want to be alerted if the wet bulb globe temperature increases over a certain degree, you set the threshold temperature. We'll say 80 degrees Fahrenheit. We set the location that you want that wet bulb globe temperature to be. You can either do your current phone GPS location, or what I highly recommend is to use one of your saved locations. We'll do Yukon. How long the practice is going to be. We'll do an hour. And then you have the option of recording that data every 15 minutes. And then hit Start Alert. Now you'll notice that there's a countdown timer. Every 15 minutes, the app will automatically record and save the data into your saved data location. And if it goes over your threshold wet bulb globe temperature, it'll send an alert to your phone and wearable device if it's connected appropriately. Make sure, and this is really important, that your phone is not set on silence. We'll go ahead and stop the alert. We'll go back home. And the last menu item is just the settings. Here you can edit your profile by changing your name. What you cannot change is your login email. Again, that can never be changed. That's your unique user ID and it cannot be changed. But you can change the email address that you want your saved measures to be emailed to. If you want to send the saved data to your athletic director, instead of just sending it to your email, you can change your email address here and have it sent directly to them. Also on the screen, you can change your default organization that you use for organizational recommendations. If you prefer Celsius, you can just change it to metric. You can see that we're now in Celsius. Code we've already went over. And the next thing we'll talk about is contact us. This will just allow you to email us. Log out, obviously, is log out if you want to log out of the app so no one else can save data under your name. If you want to permanently delete You can delete your username here. About terms and conditions and privacy policy are self-explanatory. Let's go back home. Those are all the features of the pro version of the Zelus Wet Bulb Globe Temperature app. If you have any questions, please let us know at info@zelussports.com. That's info@ZELUSPORTS.com. And thanks for listening.